everyone. Today we're going to take a trip around the world with Google Earth. This video is going to show you exactly what you're going to do in order to find 10 famous landmarks all over our Earth. And you know what the most important one is? Your house. That's right. You're going to find exactly where you live, where you go to sleep and wake up every morning, because that's probably the most #1 landmark there is. Okay, let's get started. When you open Google Earth, the first thing you're going to see is this startup tip box. It gives you some good hints on how to use Google Earth, but I'm not going to need to use it right now. So I'm going to go ahead and close it up and get it out of the way. So there is the United States. I can see it right in the center of the Earth. Can you see it? Right there. That's where we are. Okay, let's take a closer look to see what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Okay, the first thing we're going to need to know how to do is how do we travel around the Earth to get to those landmarks that we're going to visit. It's easy peasy. If I take my cursor and move it over to the upper right corner, the navigation controls will pop up. Notice if I move my cursor away, they get dim, but they're still there. Okay, so let's look at the navigation controls a little more carefully. Okay, this one with the eye in the middle is called the look joystick. So if you notice, there are some arrows, and if I press on those arrows, just like a joystick in a video game, when you press on them, things move and allows you to see different views of the Earth. You might also notice this ring, and if you notice, it says N at the top. N meaning north. And if you get everything all kind of twisted up, which is easy to do the first time you work in Google Earth, all you need to do is click on that N, drag it back up, and everything gets straightened out again. The other controller is called the Move Joystick. Works the same way. You can see the little arrows, and it allows me to move the Earth. It's rotating, just like you might have studied in science class. If you find some of these controls a little hard to use, do like I do. I take the cursor, move it over, hold my mouse button down, or trackpad, and I just move the Earth around like this. There is no right or wrong way to do this, so if you feel more comfortable using the joysticks, that's what you should do. If you're like me and you prefer to use the mouse, that's good too. Everyone has their own best technique. The last thing I want to show you is this zoom slider right here. You see it? It's got a little button that I can drag up towards the plus sign. I zoom in. Towards the minus, I zoom out. Or if you're like me and you want to use your mouse, move the scroll button away from you to zoom in, towards you to zoom out. Okay? So let me show you how to find the information out about a landmark. I'm going to go to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And I double click on it, and it brings me in even closer. I can use my zoom, remember, over here or over here, and there it is, the District of Columbia. That's what the DC stands for. I want to go ahead and visit the Lincoln Memorial. Okay, so here's our search, and if I don't see a place to type in, I just need to click on this little arrow and expand it. And I'm going to type in Lincoln Memorial. And if you notice, I got several suggestions. The Lincoln Memorial, Washington, D.C., Lincoln Memorial Circle, Reflecting Pool Cemetery, and there are probably some other things around the United States that have Lincoln Memorial. So you have to be very careful. If you're not sure which one to choose, click on Search. If you notice over here, I am getting the Lincoln Memorial, the #1 choice, and there it is. Okay, now how to do your activity. If you look on your paper, you have the names of 10 places that you need to go. Let's say the Lincoln Memorial was one of them. So what you need to do is look down here at the bottom, and I can see the latitude and the longitude that show the exact location of the Lincoln Memorial. Remember, latitude and longitude refer to imaginary lines that crisscross the earth, so we can find places exactly where they are. Also, if I look at the bottom, I can see that this picture was taken on 4/14/2016, or April 14th. So it's a pretty recent picture. Now that you know that this picture was taken in April of 2016, that these cars are really not moving along this highway right now, okay? These are still pictures taken by a satellite, and then they're stitched or put together to make one gigantic image. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cursor and put it smack dab right on top of the Lincoln Memorial on that little place marker. I can see at the bottom that the absolute location of the Lincoln Memorial on the planet Earth is 38 degrees, 53 minutes, 21.71 seconds north, and 77 degrees, 3 minutes, and 0.52 seconds west. No other building or place or person has that location. That is the absolute location of the Lincoln Memorial. Okay, now I might have to answer a question or two about the Lincoln Memorial. I'd have to look on my sheet, and to find that information, I am going to click on the little place marker, that red balloon that you see right there. If you don't see the little red place mark, you may need to zoom in a little closer to get a good look at the Lincoln Memorial and get some good information. So once I click on that red place marker, I get plenty of information, such as the name of what I'm looking at, the Lincoln Memorial, which is a monument. And it gives me a description. It tells me about it was built to honor Abraham Lincoln, who was our 16th president of the United States. And it's located on what's called the National Mall, across from the Washington Monument. And there's a long pool of water called the Reflecting Pool. And maybe one of my questions on my paper might be, when did the Lincoln Memorial open? So I'm going to need to look at my information and find out that it opened up on May 30th, 1922. Once I have all the information written down for all 10 landmarks, remember that's including your house, so make sure that you read everything carefully. You can have a little bit of fun exploring some of these places on Google Earth, but wait until all 10 landmarks on your sheet have been completed. After that, here's what you can do. I'm going to close this up and come over here where it says layers. If you don't see layers, remember all you need to do is find it and click on the little arrow, and that will expand it. I'm going to turn on 3D buildings, and all of a sudden you see it looks a little bit different, doesn't it? Now that the 3D building layer is turned on, I can get more information about the Lincoln Memorial simply by double clicking on it. I can get some pictures that people have taken. I can move around. Remember, I can use this directional arrow and look at it from different viewpoints, and you can see the people walking around down here. And remember, this picture was taken on April 14th. All right, I can also double click or take this person right here. That's Mr. Pegman, and I can enter Street View. I can drop him off and get a good look at what the Lincoln Memorial looks like up close. The yellow means you can follow that path by double clicking. So if I want Pegman to go down here, I can go down the mall, past these people. They're probably at home in bed right now. Anyway, I can go all over the place. You can even go down your own street. So, after you've finished everything, try out Street View and the 3D buildings. Your house is probably not going to be 3D unless you live in a really famous place, but it's a lot of fun to see what's there. Okay? But remember, we're only going to do this after we've finished our assignment. So, have fun exploring and do a great job, and we'll see you later.